Welcome back, you guys. It is part 2 of renovating my bedroom. We are starting off hard with wiping off the walls with what is actually my ceiling fan duster, but it had the extension tool that I wanted, and things can have two purposes, and this one's second purpose is going to be dusting the crap off of my walls before I apply some paint to them. We have the 4 color swatches on there. Spoilers, I already bought the paint. It's number 2. That's the second one we chose. But they do look basically the exact same. I would say the only one that has any sort of standout feature is the third one. It just looks a lot darker than the other ones. So I wiped off that wall. I do believe I wipe off the other walls. You just don't get to see. And then I'm cleaning off a little bit. My Rottweiler likes to rub her body against the wall as she lays down, and she leaves massive dirt streaks right in that general zone and also in my entryway. So bucket of water and a little bit of pine sol, and I'm gonna go through and just get the dirt off. But honestly, that's the only prep work I do. In hindsight, I should have gone through and no, that's a spoiler. Never mind, guys. Don't worry about it. You're fine. But it will come up. Uh-oh. So we are trying to clear off all of my walls and just make everything nice and clean, get the fingerprints off. And we're getting ready to paint. I have this idea in my head that this room is going to take me 1 day to paint. That is what I've decided, and it is hilariously naive. Oh, past Beth, you idiot. Not even close. See, look, I'm even taking a breather after I wipe off one wall. All right, and now the back wall. So this was a little while ago. We did have that break because of Tropical Storm Debbie coming through. And I believe now I had kicked out my husband. He is 1 state over, and I'm trying to get this done to surprise him. And I think now I have the inkling that the storm is coming in and that it's going to hit us, or at least I'm keeping my eye out on it, but I don't have the stress that I'm going to need to prep for a hurricane happening right now. I'm just happily doing my little project, and it's not that big of a deal. It's so funny how gray the room looks now, looking back at it. It's a really pretty color, it's just not that color any longer. Okay, one last dust off, because sometimes when I wipe off my walls, I will wipe down on the baseboard, the floorboard, and pick up dog hair, and if it comes back up on the wall, the dog hair goes right back on the wall, so I have to do a second sweep of it to make sure all of Beauty's hair is off. Okay, we are actually doing this, you guys. Let's get our stuff all set up. I think I put on my watch because I wanted to see how many calories I was burning during this project, so I could promptly eat those calories back in pizza or whatever. But I did buy a new kit because I had no painting stuff. I needed all of it. So I just got the little 8-piece kit and a gallon of paint. It takes so much more than a gallon of paint, but I really thought it would only take. All right, who's ready for the color reveal? It's green, like we discussed. It's the same like you saw on the wall. Oh my gosh. It is so pretty though. It's a really beautiful color. It's exactly what I had pictured in my head. And I decided to get a slightly matte finish. It's not the most matte, it's the next one. And hopefully it's not that bad when I wipe down the walls. But I didn't want my room to be shiny. I didn't want my walls to glisten. I think that when you go with a dark color like this, it makes the paint job just look cheap if it's super shiny. Or maybe because when I was young and Mark and I were in our first place and we were broke, I got super shiny paint to decorate. And so I just associate those two things as just cheap living. I bought cheap paint and man was it shiny. Okay, Here we go. Yee. It's beautiful. I'm excited about it. And now I am just trying to get it as close to this trim as possible so I can see what it looks like up next to the trim. I want to see the contrast of it and see how it looks. I have been Pinteresting and looking around a lot, and I can't tell if I should leave it with the white trim or if that's too jarring and I should paint the trim, which is a very bold decision. And I am really undecided because it feels like really hard to walk back painting trim as opposed to painting a wall. And I'm just so undecided, but I just think it's gonna look really bad if I have the floorboard and that wall trim going and the window on the side and the doors. But it's hard. What do I do? How mad is Mark gonna be if nobody paints crown molding? It's crazy. Why would anyone want to do that? It's gonna look crazy and it's gonna be so hard to fix. But you're gonna hate it if you don't. But do you? Oh my God, I do. There's no going back. What are you going to do? You can't wipe off the trim that you started going in a very dark color. So here we go. We are gonna do this, and I am so excited for how many of you guys are currently screaming in pain at your phones or the computer, however you're watching me. Yeah, let me know in the comments how badly your blood vessels burst in your eyeballs when that moment happened. You'll see the results, and then you can tell me after that. But whew, what a crazy choice. I cannot believe I did it. I really can't believe I did it. We're pot committed to this crap now, so let's keep going. Now, I'm not going to tape off the ceiling because even if I use tape, I get paint on the ceiling. It's not great. So I am just going to cut in the lining on my own and hopefully not bump the ceiling too much. And then honestly, I was thinking to myself, the only person who spends any amount of time staring at my bedroom ceiling is me. So I'm the only person who's going to be deeply offended by it if it bothers me. And then the last little bit of reassurance I gave myself was, okay, this is the worst mistake ever. If we hate it, if it's the worst, if Mark tries to divorce me over painting, crown molding, I will just save up all of my AdSense revenue from my YouTube channel and pay to have it corrected by a professional. So that's what I'm telling myself, and I am pushing myself through it. And it was a bold choice. Not to toot my own. It's freaking paint, Elizabeth. Why am I acting like I made the world's greatest, craziest, hardest decision? It's paint. Okay, I'm over it, guys. I'm over myself now for the moment. Promise that it's not permanent. It's just temporary. My ego's just going to really reinflate. Don't worry. Here, if you look at the wall, it's really, really splotchy, and I'm super nervous. This paint is going fast. My walls are just drinking it up, and it already has paint on it. So it looks splotchy. I'm going through tons of paint, and I'm so concerned that it is going to be a 3-coat project. And I'm already sick of my crap and tired, and I don't want to be doing this project anymore. Because I forgot how much I hate painting. Oh, it's so boring and it stinks like paint. And I'm not great at it. So all of my videos, you guys, my videos are not how-tos. We all have to remember this. I am never showing you a how-to. I am simply showing you a watch me situation. Watch me paint my room. Don't recommend you take any tips from me because it's mostly kind of chaotic. I think I got halfway through that before I remembered that I have a mini roll, and then I got my mini roll. And I am going to paint my doors, but I want to see how it goes on the trim. So I only did the top part. And honestly, I should have sanded my trim down. It's a little bit too glossy, and if I bump it wrong now, I can chip the paint really easily. And door frames are kind of a high wear and tear area. So I do think this is gonna be an area where I have to go back, sand everything down, prime it properly, and then paint it again, which really bums me out. But it feels like something I can trick my husband into doing. So that's not too shabby. Here we go. All right, so 2 coats, not all the way dry, but this is the color, you guys. I'm kind of in love with it. I can't remember if I said it or not, but I wanted to get that wall done first because it is the wall that faces the window. And I thought I would get the most true sense of what the color is going to look like with that light hitting it. Also, here's where I discovered the time-lapse feature, and it's friggin' amazing. I'm very happy that I found it because I think it looks really interesting and the progress looks fun. And you don't realize that it takes me like an hour to do 1 coat on 1 wall, which is insane. Furthermore, I'm fairly certain this is the next day. I put on the same outfits and I paint my room. It takes me 3 days to paint the room fully. And I wear the same outfit every single day because if you get paint on it, you just want paint on 1 outfit and I don't care. And I thought in my head I'd be able to distinguish and be like day 2, day 3. I have absolutely no idea, to be honest. This could be day 1, but it's probably day 2. And okay, so then I was talking to myself, do I paint in the trim of this window? And I decided not to because it was taking forever. And I bought curtains and I thought the curtains would make it look okay. If it stands out too terribly much with the curtains and everything, if it's too jarring, I still have paint and I will sand it down and do it properly. I don't show you the second coat facing the window because it became afternoon. I do remember that. And the sun was just, you know, shining out the camera anyway, so you wouldn't have seen anything. You can even tell on the right-hand side here how much sunshine's coming through and it just like bleaches out that side. Sweet Potato, though, could not have been more delighted with this whole project. She loved being in the room and she loved having the bed disassembled. It was the greatest thing. And she would scream at me all night long about how badly she wanted to go back in my room to just hang, I guess. So I didn't do time lapse on this wall because I didn't want to, I don't know, I wanted a little bit more time on certain elements for you guys in case the time lapse was too abrupt, and ended up speeding it up 900% anyways because it's just so hard watching somebody paint slowly. And I wish I had time-lapsed all of it. It just looked cool. Oh my gosh, I cut out, so you won't see it, but I think it's here on this exit. It's just gonna go too fast. I stepped down and I hit my inner foot and hurt it really badly. I checked to see if it was bleeding and everything, and it hurt so much. Nope, not there, I guess. And then the next day after I'm painting the door, so same day or next day, I feel like I'm getting a massive foot cramp in that same spot, and I completely forgot I heard it getting off the ladder. So I massaged that spot for so long and it was a bruise. So I just rubbed the crap out of a bruise for no reason. But I thought it was a foot cramp. It's all swollen too, swollen and bruised. This outlet takes forever to take off, takes even longer to try to put it back in. And it doesn't even function. It just has that like blocking plate on it, so I can't use it, and I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's stupid, that's what it's supposed to be. Ugh, Potato's so cute. Leroy's not allowed in here because he just kept getting way too interested in the open paint. And he's such a he's a dum-dum, and I knew he was gonna knock over the gallon of paint, get scared, and then sprint through my house covered in deep green paint, and I didn't want that business, so he wasn't allowed in to supervise. Sweet Potato was doing as much supervision as she could for the both of them.
Brand new street and brand new me, side by friends I need. Don't you tell me that you're in town, I already know, couple days ago. Hey, now that our names are written in stone, let's be honest, sounds like home. Still I'm here alone and I'm calling your phone. I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I wish I could dream about somebody else. I wish I could talk when the silence so loud. I wish, oh I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I wish I could do something that will make sense. I wish I would know what you're thinking about. I wish.
For some reason, I felt like this wall was taking more paint than all the other walls were taking. And I do believe I had already gone back to the store and picked up another gallon of paint because I knew we were not going to have enough. Okay, for a how-to, I do have a little nifty trick that I learned somewhere. I didn't make it up, but I don't remember where, so I made this up. When you have more than one day of painting, I take saran wrap and I wrap my rollers so that everything stays nice and wet and, you know, with paint on it, so you don't have to worry about trying to wash it off or anything like that, and it doesn't dry and ruin your roller. If you saran wrap it, you can easily use it the next day and it's perfect. I also took a little bit of saran wrap out and put it on top of paint that I had poured out that I didn't want to waste. And that worked decently well. It did kind of get a little chunky and I had to wipe it out. So I don't recommend that, but I do recommend the saran wrap on the roller. So close, and you can see the afternoon sun is just blinding out and washing out all of this. So it must be closer to evening actually. And it looks messy. It looks so terrible, but it looks better afterwards. And the door, I was really not excited about the door because of how many nooks and crannies it had. And so I was right. It sucked. I hated doing it. And I was learning about like how the Olympics bankrupts whatever city actually hosts the Olympics while painting this. And then the Olympics came on after that. And then I did learn that if you're going to paint your doors, the side that opens into the room with the paint is the one you paint. So my door going into my home, that facing edge is painted, but the one going into my bathroom, I paint the hinge edge and I leave the other edge white because when you go into my bathroom, the trim and everything is still white, so it's supposed to match up that way. And I think it works.
You were my best friend, didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space. So brave and so stupid, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with you, you and me so clueless. We were just broken, shattered, singing along to nothing matters. Stray around like nighttime rumors. We were in too deep, in your worn-out sweaters, thinking we'll be young forever. Driving in your mom's old hatchback, and we were in too deep.
Okay, so to get myself through this final little stretch here, I am just thinking about how I get to sleep in my own room. If I manage to finish this paint, it airs out enough that my room doesn't smell too painty and I can set up my bed. I had not been getting decent sleep whatsoever, not sleeping in my room. It was pretty miserable. And so I am just trying to like convince myself to finish it on this last day. But I am also negotiating in my head thinking, okay, I have this many more days till my husband gets home. I could probably space out my project a little bit more, and I really only have to get it finished then, and he's going to get home late that night, so I could even push it off even a little bit further. I was just over painting, and it was just one room. But look at how it's coming together nicely, and I know it kind of takes away the detail of the trim, but it does look quite nice finished. I don't know. I think it would have been unpleasant to look at if I had left the trim whites. And I think overall, I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I'm pleased with how the doors look nice and green and the trim and everything like that. And I genuinely think I might have to loop back and paint the window frame. But it's so cozy and rich, and it just gives a completely different vibe than the gray did. I am really getting back to colors. I'm like even having dreams of like the different colors I have to paint in different parts of my house. And those are a little bit more like nightmares because of all the painting. But I feel like I am ready to put a close to my millennial gray chapter. Although I do really love gray still. And the downside, okay, it is really dark in my room. My ceiling fan light is not strong enough for how dark it is in here. So I'm glad that I had my ring light to help me see things, and I have to use the ring light a bunch later because I don't have the other lamps. But I think I can also build in depth in the room with different light sources. So I'm not angry about it. I'm actually really excited to try to lay in different lighting and different vibes and all of that stuff. I'm just pretty excited about this project. Also excited to get that wall done. So apparently I paint the other two doors and absolutely don't show it to you. So I guess you'll have to operate off of trust. But it is time to tidy. I'm done with that, so I'm just gonna throw it away. I'm not really, maybe I do rinse it out. Doesn't look like I do. Like I can't imagine not buying another roller for whatever color I pick next time. Come with me. You get to be over here now. Enjoy. Oh, because I'm showing off. Look, you guys, I'm putting my outlet covers back on. I'm really proud of myself for taking them off because I think I'm going to be electrocuted. I think anything that has to do with outlets is exactly how you die, and I wanted to be a lot more cautious. I also wanted to yell at Calvin outside the window because yell at Calvin for yelling at Leroy outside the window because Calvin thought Leroy was going off in the woods too far, but I think Leroy just wanted to go to the bathroom. And then this top cover thing, it took me so long, I actually had to edit out how long it took me. It just refused to line up and go in. It was a grumpy. now I'm trying to figure out, do I love the color? It doesn't matter, it's already on the wall, but do we love the color? I think yes. And I think that I just want to set up my bed and see. I'm still, by the way, this is still the time frame where I think I'm going to fit way more in the room than I actually can fit into the room. And while reassembling my bed, I'm starting to slowly come into the reality of, no, that's crazy. Why would all of that stuff fit there? See, look, professional measuring it out. Uh-oh. Now, even in my delusion, it doesn't fit. So now I think, okay, if it doesn't fit in my imagination, clearly reassembling the stuff and putting furniture back is what will make it fit. And I finally decided to get the stuff out from underneath my bed because I need to move my bed around. Ta-da! And I don't sweep it up. I just put it in a little pile outside my door. Don't worry about that. It's fine. Still trying to gaslight myself into thinking I can get everything to fit. I'm telling Sweet Potato all about it. She agrees. She thinks that it will fit. Don't worry. Reality is not a thing. Everything you want will come true no matter what. And it's like, I don't know, 7 p.m. And so I pull out this 15,000 piece bookshelf to assemble before assembling my bed, before going to bed. Just a lot of delusion happening in this video. So much. Oh, speaking of delusion, on this box, it says that you cannot return this item without the original packaging. And you can see this original packaging is just like sketchy cardboard colored paper that they wrapped onto cardboard because they broke it so much during shipping. So that was great. All right. And the instructions, by the way, are not real instructions. They're just vague pictures with arrows and nothing else. And there are 20,000 parts. I have a lot of feelings about this stupid bookshelf. Sweet Potato's eating, what is that? Styrofoam, because I guess crawling into a car engine wasn't risky enough. She wants to really up the ante. And now I'm finally getting to be slightly more reasonable. And I decide that I am going to set up my bed before I make any other choices, because we are getting down to frustration levels that are not productive. And one of the best ways to calm down those frustration levels is with sleep. So look at all that foam and everything like that. That didn't stay where it was supposed to. That just piled like a dead body under the sheets. I left the sheets on, by the way, you guys, when I was dragging them in and out, because I knew that they were going to get gross, and I would rather sheets that I could easily peel off and wash, get covered in dog hair and whatever else is on my floor, than my actual mattresses and then try to attempt to clean my mattress. Also, Sweet Potato keeps trying to scale that headboard that is very precariously balanced and will absolutely kill her if it like falls down on top of her. But she doesn't care. She is just like, I don't know. I think she's lashing out because Mark's gone. And so she's just displaying all of her risky behavior to get more attention. Which I get, because I'm currently doing that with my husband. I want more attention. Probably why I painted our entire bedroom. I'm lashing out with behavioral issues. Okay, so this part of my bed was broken. And look, freaking Sweet Potato, look at her. Do you see that cat? Does not care. The 9 lives things is a myth, idiot. Get off my headboard. Okay, so the sideboard plank thing had broken, and I just had to screw it back in, and I am very handy. So, did you see that? Like Bob the Builder over here. So I'm plugging in the 2 raising bed frame things because what if I find the remote? That would be nice. I don't, by the way, I still haven't, so they still don't function, but they're plugged in hopes that one day they will function. And the footboard. I put the beds themselves on sliders. I guess I didn't show that to you. I put them on sliders so I'm not ruining my floor doing this. And I think I might move the bed here and there again. I just want the bed in one piece because I need to see how big it is. Also, after all of this, I decide I absolutely hate my bed and want to change it up. And my husband's really excited about that idea. It doesn't matter, because guess what? He has to leave town next month. So I'd like to see him try to stop me. This side, so I got the other sideboard so easily, and this side I fought so freaking hard. It was a real nightmare. I think I was afraid to push the headboard up against the wall for fear of like scratching, chipping, ruining. And so I was just trying to get like faith to hold it up to where I could put the footboard back in, but that wasn't working. Eventually I had to shove it into the wall all the way so I had something to brace against to put the little side panel in. Ta-da! Now we stare angrily at the bed because the bed is larger in real life than it was in my dreams. And then this also shows me my delusion of how big side tables are. I still can't really decide if I want my bed offset or super in the middle. And so I leave. I'm gonna go get the second side table, but it turns out I don't have any of the sliders under it, so I need to go get those sliders back. This one goes way better. Ta-da! Also, I just apparently put it on top of that other trash, so now we don't have to worry about the trash that was in that section. I do get the other little bits, but okay. So there I am confronting my reality. And the room is entirely painted, but we have so many more things to do. In the next video, we will be assembling furniture, my lord. In the next video, we will be assembling the furniture that I purchased and just organizing and decorating. Should finish it out very nicely. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I know what we're gonna get up to in the next video and I can't wait to do it with you. I love you, bye.